YouTube. I thought I'd do a video today talking about my bullet journaling adventures. I have never really been the most organised person, and with trying to do my YouTube channel and my blog and Facebook and social media, as well as my author page, and getting into writing properly, I've needed a system. And last year in November I discovered the bullet journaling system. At the moment I have a lot of digital lists on Google Keep, and some of them even in Word, and I also keep like a lot of notes on pieces of paper and post-it notes around the house. So I decided I wanted to somewhere that I could keep everything together, but not just organising like in a diary. I want to be able to keep my lists and notes and sketches and doodles and ideas for my channel and things like that all in one place, and this system seems to do that. So I thought I'd check it out. So Brian and I decided to get each other a bullet journal for Christmas. We decided to go for an official bullet journal, which has the embossed bullet journal on the front. They're slightly more expensive than the normal Leuchtturm 1917 notebooks, but they have specific bullet journaling things in there, and I'll come on to that as we go through the book. Today is the 16th of January, and I've only been using it since the 1st of January, so obviously I haven't done a lot yet, but I just wanted to show you what I've got so far and let you know how my experiences have been so far and what I think of it, and do sort of a mini review of the official bullet journal as well as the system itself. I got the official one in Emerald, which is this lovely green. I thought it was going to be a lot brighter than this, and I was a little bit worried because I didn't want something too bright, but this is a gorgeous green colour. Brian had the one in black, so we don't get them confused. If you want an official one, that's the only two colours that they come in at the moment, the emerald or the black. But the Leuchtturm 1917 notebooks come in loads of different colours, and there isn't a huge difference between the normal ones and these ones, so you can get away with that if that's the investment you want to make instead. And that's what this really was for us, an investment into organisation and our life. And that's why we spent a little bit more, because you can use absolutely any notebook you want for this. It doesn't have to be one of these fancy things. I'm sorry if you can hear the cat meowing, there's a bird outside. Yeah, you shush, I'm trying to do a video, Penny Cat. But let's open this one up. I've rambled on enough, so let's get on with it. So this is mine, and I have started using it, but I've left this on just to show you. This is how they come originally, with the paper on. It tells you all what's inside, and it has this lovely elastic band on, which is great to keep the pages together. And then inside you have a little bit about it, about the book itself, and like a thank you kind of card. So I'll take all this away. It's kind of nice to be able to get rid of this paper now. And then in the back you also have some extra things, which is sticky labels if you want to do some kind of labelling for the front. So you can write, 2017 January till August or whatever, if you don't fill a whole year or whatever. And they also have the ones for the spine. If you want to archive them on your shelf, then you can make a note of what that is down there. I'm not sure I'm going to use this, but I'm keeping it in there just in case. Now also in the back you have this lovely pocket, which is great for keeping like scraps of paper or notes and things if you're out and about, or meows, or any odds and ends that are relevant to whatever you're journaling about. And they also have a little bit about the bullet journal system and also how it works, so you can learn all about what the different symbols mean and how the system works in the back, and there's lots of tips and tricks in there. I've watched a lot of bullet journaling videos, so I didn't really go through this too much, but when I first started it was good to be able to have this note to look in to understand what I'm doing with the future log and the monthly log. The daily log kind of speaks for itself each day, but the future log and monthly log ones that I had a little bit of trouble understanding why I needed those to start with. But I'll show you how I've done mine and you can see what I've done with it. And on the first page it shows you the key, and these are all the symbols of what you're going to be using through the journal. You can make your own up if you want to use different ones, or in addition to these official ones. and they've got the dot for the task. Completed I've changed because an X through for completed didn't work for me. I didn't think that was very intuitive for my way of thinking, so I've done a tick instead in mine, but I haven't bothered putting in the key because I know what it means. And then you've got migrated and scheduled, and we'll come on to all these in a minute. They have tips for getting started, and then the index, which obviously speaks for itself. You've got your future log, which they already have printed in the official one, and they have the instructions on the back, obviously, in this one. But for your own, you can make your own index and number your own pages for this and the future log and for every other dates. Now, as you can see, I've already started January on page 5. Now, 5 to 6 is because I've done the January monthly log, which I'll show in a minute, and then I started on page 7 with my daily logs to 8, and then I skipped because I've got other things in between, and then gone to 13. A lot of people sort of keep the January things in a list, but it made more sense to me to put them all in a line, and I can keep going what pages are for January, and then February will be further down and so on. And in between I've got my video ideas for my channel on page 9 to 10, and blog ideas on page 11 to 12. I haven't filled both those pages yet. I've just left 2 pages so that I've got enough room to keep notes in there of ideas as I come across them, and cross them out if I don't want to do them anymore, or tick them when I've done them, that sort of thing. And they give you 4 pages for the index, which I think is plenty of space. And then you come on to the future log. Now, the future log is a 6-month look ahead. Well, it's 12 months altogether, but it's a 6-month look ahead per page of the future, really. This is the layout that the original creator came up with, and it's just splitting the page into 3 equal sections each side. And then January, obviously we don't need a future log for because we're in January, so my future log starts next month, which is February, March, April, and so on. And you just keep track here of important events and important things that you need to remind yourself to do in the future, such as changing our air conditioning filters. We do every 3 months. And what else have I got going on next time? I've also got birthdays, different events through the year. I've got here about, I've just signed up for Sephora free shipping, which auto renews every 12 months. So I've put here about whether I want to cancel it or not, because I don't know what I'm going to think about it by this time next year. I don't know if I'm explaining that right or not, but that's how I kind of understand it, that it's things that I need to know and to be able to put into those months in the future, but I just need a space to keep them in my mind right now, so they're down here on the page. And then after the future log, we have the monthly planner, which again, I've stuck sort of to what the creator came up with, because the creator of the bullet journal system is called Ryder Carroll, I think, Ryder somebody, and he's brilliant coming up with this system, because I think it's great so far. But what the idea is on these pages is that you just have like a month view of things that, I'm sorry, the camera's knocking, the cat's walking all over the place. That you have a month view of things that you need to do during that month but don't have actually scheduled as a certain day yet. So I've got things down here that I have done, which was getting a rug for the computer room, and then things I haven't done yet, which we need a new blind for the computer room. Brian's birthday is coming up. I didn't really need a note for that, but I put it in there because I was running out of things to put at that point. And then I figured out what else to put in. Things that have got an arrow forward means that I've moved them from this list and actually scheduled them into the actual daily planner. And whether they've been done or not yet, that's unknown at this point. Some of them have been. But yeah, this is just like a generalized list of, I don't know when to do these, but I need to do them in January kind of list. And then on this page, again, the creator came up with putting down just the numbers of the days and a letter for the day, so you know what day they are. I've sort of signified the weekends a little bit more defined so I can see the weeks easier. And he originally wrote down specific things for each day, which I thought was a little bit counterintuitive because I'm going to have that over here. So for me, I've done a tracker instead. And I haven't got many things going on in it so far, obviously, but I've put some knee exercises because I have an old knee injury that I'm trying to strengthen up at the moment, my knee. Walking the dog because of my knee injury lately. I haven't been able to do that as often as I want to, so I'm trying to keep track of when I'm able to do that. Workouts, when I've done other things other than the knee exercises, and then blog posts. I'm lacking in blog posts this month. I'm sorry that that's Penny in the background. Sorry, I've moved her on so she's not going to be knocking the camera so much. So where was I? Yeah, blog posts. I haven't done very well this month with blog posts. I need to schedule more. My blog has been lacking lately, but this is giving me a visual representation of how often I am doing it. So I know I need to do more scheduled posts and write more posts in general. And then obviously video uploads. I'm trying to do at least 2 a week, but I'm going to try and get to 3 a week during February and onwards. And so I got 2 in last week. Well, technically, because it's Sunday to Friday. But 2 in last week, and then I'm going to get 1 up hopefully today, this video, and then Wednesday and Friday if I'm good enough. But yeah, and then the next one on this I'm actually going to write in here, and I'll do that now, is I want to keep track of my writing. So I'll put writing here, and then if I've written anything on either a short story or my novel progress or whatever, I can keep track of that here. I'll talk about the pens I'm using in a minute. And I've got a signifier colour here as well. So what colour shall I use? I'm going to go with a dark green, just because that's going to stand out a little bit more from the other colours. So I'm just putting a little key here so that I know that's the colour to use in future, and I will keep track of any writing here by shading in a square as I go. And this is a good time to point out that this journal and a lot of the Leuchtturm journals as an option have the square dotted grid pattern instead of straight lines, and it's nice that it has that in the bullet journal because it gives you a lot more flexibility for different kinds of layouts. Obviously this one I can see very easily, filling in the little squares, but you can draw yourself boxes very simply, and different grid things, and plan out fonts. I don't do any fancy fonts, but you can do that sort of thing, and the grid makes it much more easier than just having straight lines. A lot of people do, as I said, fancy fonts, but also lots of different colours and pictures and things. For me, I don't want to be worrying about a journal being perfect. I want to be able to scribble in it and make notes in it and write in it really quickly. So for me, it's more of a simple journal, and that's what works for my life best. And I do little doodles around it as well. And as I've done in this, like little pictures to show the different holidays that are coming up. That's a silver witch's hat. I don't know if that shows up or not. I wasn't sure what to do for Halloween. But you can make it as pretty as you want, really. It's completely up to you. But for me, this is going to be what works for me the most, rather than worrying about, oh, I can't make that note yet because I haven't done a fancy header, or I can't complete this task because I need the right colour pen and things like that. So for me, very, very, very simple. And now let's get into the daily log. Now, again, a lot of people plan ahead their weeks. I don't. I just start the week. I want to start on a fresh page, but it doesn't have to be a 2-page spread per week. And I can show you in a minute that I haven't stuck with a 2-page spread per week. But yeah, for your daily schedule, you just write down the date. I've written Happy New Year in gold. I don't know if that's showing up or not. And then the lists of things you need to do each day. And you can plan this out into a grid system if you want to split the page up. A lot of people do that. But for me, I just want to be able to do, at the beginning of the day, I write the date, I write down what I want to do that day, and I add to it throughout the day or cross out if I don't need to do it anymore. And then at the end of the day, I'll go through and tick what I've done, migrate forward things that I can do the next day because I didn't get a chance to do, or put back into the monthly planner if I need to. If there's something that I didn't get done and it's not going to get done for a while, I can just put it back into here and leave it for later in the month. So yeah, that's basically just how I do my days, very, very simply. And this is what works for me. It helps me get everything out of my brain and onto paper, which is the biggest problem that I had, having all these different notes around, that I wasn't keeping track of where my brain was at any time of the day, and this helps me do that a lot. So I've got all my things there that I've been doing the first week of January. I've got my list of video ideas, and I've left 2 pages for this because hopefully I'll have a lot and then I can do more if I need more pages later on. And then I've just listed out ideas for my channel and tick them off when I've done them. And then also on the next page I have my list of blog ideas. Not very many so far. I'm finding it more difficult to think of blog ideas than I am of video ideas. I've got last week, which was a short week. I didn't do as many things, but the things I did were bigger things that took more time. So last week I only took up one side of the page, and then today I'm going to be starting up here. I will put that in now. And that's Monday. And you can see I'm very quickly writing. This isn't super pretty. One of the best things that I learned when I was at university, I studied architecture in university, but one of the best things I learned was don't treat your work as precious. You need to be able to edit it and sketch quickly and get things out of your brain and onto paper, and not worry about it being perfect, because if you need something perfect, you can make it perfect later on. That's what editing is for. And the last thing that I need to talk about, well, I guess 2 things, is that the bullet journal, the official one, already has the page numbers on the bottom. Page numbers. Oh dear me. But the page numbers are already on the bottom corner, so you haven't got to worry about numbering them. If you get your own journal, it's very easy to just write the numbers as you go. But this also comes with 3 bookmarks, which are very helpful, or will be very helpful. Bring those around. This one has a black one, the green emerald one, the same colour as the front, and the white one. I can keep one in today's date, and then I could keep one in my monthly planner. And then I have a third one for something else, which I might keep in like my video ideas, or even at the index. I don't think I really keep it at the index though, but wherever you want to put them. I should also talk about what pens I use, and I use 2 different pens, but they're the same brand. I use the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens, and I use them in F and S. Now the F is fine and S is super fine, and there isn't a huge difference. I think this is 0.5 and this is 0.3. I use the F for headers at the top of the page and for the date every day, and then I use S as my everyday just writing down notes pen. A lot of people use these because they don't give any bleed through, which is what I actually use them in university as well. But they do have slight ghosting through the page, but it's not proper bleed through, so I can cope with that. Also, for the colour that I'm putting on the pages, I'm using pencils, colour pencils that I got again in university, and they are these Studio by Derwent pencils, and this is just a 12 pack, but they've lasted me a long time while I was through university as well, and you can see I've used them quite a bit. But they're great pencils. I find them very easy to use. They glide on the page very nicely, which I like. So that's my bullet journal so far, and I'm enjoying it. I've got to say, it has helped me be more productive, and I felt like I am more accomplished, which has helped me again be more productive, because when you feel accomplished, you want to do more. I like the flexibility that you can put any kinds of lists and notes in the system, and I will link down below the original video for the bullet journal system, so you can see the creator talking about how to use the system in more detail. I hope you've enjoyed this video about my bullet journaling adventures, and I hope the system is something that can work for you as well. Maybe you can check it out and see what you think. I might do some more videos about bullet journaling in the future, showing different layouts as I come across them and use them or not, and how my progress is going with things. If that's something you want to see, I don't know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!